to this episode of This Week Inside the Knicks, and we got a whole lot of hot topics. We're going to be answering, or at least doing our best to attempt to answer the question as to whether or not Deuce McBride, did he return too soon? Of course, there was a lot of news this week. Josh Hart, he clapped back at Stephen A. Smith. Tracy McGrady, he put out a challenge towards Karl Anthony Towns. Of course, the Knicks went 1-2 with some disappointing losses to the Charlotte Hornets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. We will discuss those games as well. And listen, we also have a comment of the week, word on the street, and much more on This Week Inside the Knicks. What's up, Knicks Nation? Welcome to the show. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the Objective Fan, and straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. Man, you know the vibe. Tell a friend that we live, man. Big time salute. Welcome to the show. This is going to be a very interesting show. This is episode 21 of the 2025-26 season, and we'll be talking about all the news that took place between the 23rd of March to the 29th. Okay? And yeah, we're going to get into Deuce McBride today. Seconds. But hopefully you guys are feeling well like we do with any show. Let's continue to smash that like button. It's very important on the way in. All right? The goal always is 100 likes minimum, and it's not to be confused with the maximum. All right, so go ahead and smash that like button. All right, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, because we know that well over 60+% of our viewers in the last 28 days are not subscribed. So subscribe now to help us close the gap. And of course, we are, each time we reach a certain milestone, we definitely will have subscriber giveaways. So once we reach the 5,000 subscriber mark, we will give away this rookie Jalen Brunson trading card. Okay? All you have to do is subscribe. No phone numbers, no emails. Subscribe, and you'll be entering in a chance to win that as soon as we reach the 5K mark. Okay? Big time salute to Skywalker. All right? I see you. Number 2. Oh, Lord. Big time salute to J-Tap Mob in the building. I do appreciate you. Of course, Cleo in the building. All right. And Low Budget Gamer. Okay. Listen, man. Big time salute to everybody in the building. All right. I see people. We got some people, interesting people in the building. Just don't get too crazy, or you might get timed out. But we're here to discuss basketball, and we got a lot of things. I just want to let you guys know I will be back tonight for Level-Headed Knicks Talk. And one of the main topics that I want to talk about is, are we out of touch with the number 2 seed? Like, is it out of reach? Can we get to it? Is it over? We're gonna unpack that as well. All right, so be on the lookout for that later show. Tomorrow, of course, we got the Blue and Orange Brunch. I'm trying out this 1 o'clock time slot. Today, I pushed it back to 1:30, but I really do want to try the 1 o'clock slot from at least Tuesday and Wednesday to see how that works out. I'm also working on a war room that will potentially be, hopefully, if it all goes right. I forgot that we had a game on Wednesday against Memphis, but hopefully we could do that before the game. So I'll keep you posted with that. And we just locked in the debate with the Brooklyn Spurs fans. So on the 13th, we will be taking on the San Antonio Spurs, all right? So continue smashing that like button and letting the people know that we are here and we are rocking, okay? So I'm going to jump into research mode. If you don't know, this podcast is also associated with a blog called This Week Inside the Knicks. And let me just make sure I get the blog up there. So right now, I'm working off my Substack. You can follow me on my Substack. It's the same name, Substack / The Objective Knicks Fan. And you will be able to find this article and all of the articles that we will be referencing today will be posted or are posted on this entry, okay? And you can see the titles was Deuce McBride brought back too soon. That's what we're going to get to. But before then, we have some much other pressing issues to touch on. As I do always, I do want to start off with the special highlights. So Deuce McBride, he hosted a meet and greet, right, with fans at Mustang Harry's. So I'm not sure if any of you guys were in attendance for this, but Deuce McBride, definitely big time salute to him. He was in attendance for this this event that he hosted, a meet and greet. And I think what's the Knicks recap was there. Salute to the Knicks recap. Definitely was in the building. I remember Joe told us about it, and so yeah, Deuce was there, and he gave fans a chance to meet and greet him. There was a lot of momentum in Deuce, coming back, and I'm pretty sure he did this event, or this event was hosted with him trying to show optimism in his potential return. Okay, but salute to that. Also, my brother Big Bodega Cat, he received the Bob Lanier Community Assist Award for February. So big time salute to Towns for that and some of the work he does in the community. A lot of us, of course, we only are concerned with the game of basketball. We don't care about what these guys are doing in their personal lives for the most part. But this is something that, I personally care about. I love to see the players doing good work in the community. And it's the power of sports. And this is why I keep telling people, do not stop or prevent your child from playing basketball. There's just too many goddamn opportunities. And then a person like Towns, where charity and philanthropy is very important for him, he has these initiatives that he does. And so I'm happy to see him get honored. All right. Some of the things that he does, he led a digital coat drive to support local families in need. He invested in youth development initiatives in the Dominican Republic and serving as a consistent advocate for social justice in underserved communities, right? In honor of his efforts, the NBA, they will donate $20,000 to Dominican Women's Development Center, okay? I feel like they should just 10x that, but that's a whole nother topic. All right. And then this winter, he hosted a coat campaign drive to provide coats to families in need across New York. Big time salute to that, man. That's fire. All right. With the Operation Warm, Towns donated 500 coats valued at $12,500 and an additional 162 coats contributed through his partnership with Target. Man, fire stuff. So that's Big Bodega Cat. You want to read more about this, you can. All you got to do is hit the Substack and the link is there. All right. And of course, MSG, in the Knicks, they did well to this officer who hopped the fence to tackle a bomber. And of course, he got a standing ovation. Big time salute to this right here. I love to see this is the power of sports because, you can honor the people in the community through sports. And this is something that went down. NYPD Chief Aaron Edwards chased down ISIS-inspired wannabe bombers outside of Gracie Mansion in a viral moment and got a good standing ovation from Knicks fans at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday. All right. And this was the latest accolade for the humble hero. And they said, please join us in honoring a 23-year-old veteran, New York City Police Department Assistant Chief Aaron Edwards, the announcer said during the Knicks game against the New Orleans Pelicans. Big time salute to that. I'm sorry, I don't got the images on the screen. But if you want to read more about this, you can. This guy, he drove away some potential, let's just say people that with bad intentions away from Gracie Manor. Okay. So MSG, they gave him a big time salute. More special highlights. Knicks fan creates special and heartwarming connection with his sister by using his voice. Okay. Man. Anyway, this was a nice story. This brother here, he pretty much created a nice message for his sister using his voice. I wish I could show you guys it, but I'm not logged in on this account. So, but that was in the, if you got the sports, the Post Plus, you could go access it. And if you want the direct link to it, once again, just get it on Substack. All right. And of course, they held the concert. Thousands of the New York finest turned out to the Thank You NYPD concert at MSG, and it raised $500K for the cops. Big time salute to that. You know, they had a big time event that they did, and the Thank You NYPD concert, spearheaded by MSG Entertainment CEO and Executive Chairman James Dolan, welcomed over 15,000 police officers and civilian employees, along with their families, to be entertained by comedians, Grammy Award-winning legends, and blue backing actors. So this event took place, and they had a great time. So big time salute to that. We talked about this, I think, last week, but the event actually took place. Just to provide the update, all right? Let's keep it pushing. And yeah, that's all for the special highlights. Big time salute. I like to start the podcast before we get serious with some of the special highlights of the week. Like I said, if there's certain elements that we don't touch on completely, you can always go to the Substack and find the information there. So I do want to take my time now and go through some of the stories of the week and the Knicks rundown. Now, once again, most of these articles I'm not going to touch on. Let me see. Is this a link or is this an article? Okay, this is an article. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to spend much time on this, but Ian Thomason on WFAN. Isaiah Thomas had in hand in the 2011 Carmelo Anthony trade. Okay. Isaiah Thomas, run as the Knicks president and head coach, ended in 2008. So how the hell did he have anything to do with that? But okay, anyway. But 2.5 years later, he played a role, albeit a reluctant one, in the team's blockbuster trade to acquire Carmelo Anthony, according to a new book. In an interview with WFAN's The Afternoon Drive on Monday, veteran basketball writer Ian Thomason shared a story from his book, The Soul of Basketball, which released Tuesday. And Thomason said in February 2011, he talked to the Nuggets general manager, Masai Ujiri, who described the offers he was entertaining from the Knicks and Nets for Anthony. The Knicks were willing to give up Gallinari, oh my God, the beloved package, Raymond Felton, Wilson Chandler, a first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. The Nets offered 4 first-round selections: Devin Harris, Derek Favors, Ben Uzo, and Troy Murphy, according to Thomason. Damn, could you imagine if Melo would have went to the Nets? How would history have been if Melo went to the Nets? Masai Ujiri had told me the 2 trades he wanted to make the Knicks trade, but he thought his owners wouldn't go for it, that they needed a little something extra, Thomason said. The key to the whole trade then became Timothy Mozgov, Thomason said. The Nuggets wanted the center. The Knicks were reluctant to part with him. The brother averaged no minutes. And all right, whatever. After speaking to Ujiri, Thomason called Thomas, okay? Don't confuse Thomason with Thomas. It's 2 different people, whom he had a good relationship with from his time covering the NBA for Sports Illustrated. Thomas has maintained a close relationship with Knicks owner Dolan, okay? One that led to the Hall of Famer's return to Madison Square Garden in 2015 as president of the WNBA Liberty. How many people you remember that? So listen, I just want to say this about Dolan, right? People give him a bad rap, but he's loyal to the people that he rocks with. That's a fact. He keeps all these people around, and to his detriment at times, but in the past. But now he got Leon Rose there. I wouldn't be surprised if Leon Rose ends up with part of ownership as somehow. It might be, especially if it all goes right. So basically that the relationship led to with Thomas led to the deal happening. What do you guys say about that? What do you guys think about that? If you want to read more of this, you can. I think it's believable because one thing I say, like I said, with Dolan, he values relationships. And we all know the situation that happened with Isaiah Thomas that forced him to leave the town. Whether you believe he was, complicit in any actions, that's up to you. I'm just going to say, that they had a relationship. And because of that relationship, it helped us land Carmelo Anthony. All right. So if you want to read more about this, you can. I'm not going to spend too much time there. I just thought that was an interesting read. And that came out this week. Let's see where else I want to go. This is where I really wanted to go. The Tracy McGrady challenge to Karl Anthony Towns. Now, a lot of us, of course, we watched the game last night, and I'll touch a little bit on the game if I have time. But I'll definitely touch on the game. But anyway, last night there was a clip that NBC Peacock. By the way, I hate the Peacock app. I really do. I do love Melo, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. I love them. I like their half. They're way better to me than Charles and them. Because at least with T Mac and Vince and Carmelo, they're really giving, like, they're really trying to talk basketball, and I always respect that. So whether you agree with them or not, I like seeing those brothers at halftime. Now, but the Peacock commentary crew, for the most part, I just don't like the Peacock. I like the regular NBC experience a lot better, but I guess now they merging the NBC experience with Peacock, because you see some of the guys that just be on NBC now on Peacock too. So, but I like the Melo and those guys. I just love the way they break down the game. Clearly they watch the game and they understand what's going on because they're professionals. And so there was a clip of T-Mac and Vince Carter talking to Towns, and they had his hand on his shoulder, and they were like really like trying to pour into him. Clearly it didn't work because Towns didn't do much of anything. Hold on, before I continue, I just see my bear AP say something important. We got to continue to smash that like button. It's very important to the algorithm. All right. This is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 21. I will touch on Deuce McBride. Did he return too soon? Did he return too soon? We're going to get to that in a second. And the game from last night and a whole bunch of other little topics. So continue to smash that like button. It's very important as I continue to cook with hot grease. All right. I'm running through all the news for the week. All right. This Week Inside the Knicks. Continue to smash that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed, because we know that most of you guys are not subscribed. All right. Let's get back to research mode. So T-Mac, he challenged Karl Anthony Towns to live up to the talent. Gotta have the want to. Now, Karl Anthony Towns is very talented, right? He's very talented. Sometimes I feel like to be a part of the team structure, because he's so for the team, he kind of limits himself or lowers his value as a star talent to fit in with the rest. We don't need Towns to fit in. We need him to be dominant. And this is what these guys from Shaq to T-Mac and Vince, they're trying to employ, because, to be great, you got to be selfish to some degree. And I think that he's just too selfless. I'll get it on the glass. There's some big men where it's like, if you don't pass them the ball, they're not going to rebound. Oh, you're not going to give me the ball? I'm not going to rebound. Give me the ball. And in Towns, he's not demonstrative, at least enough to really compel the guys to feature him in the office. But where does the coaching staff play? Where does the collaboration, so to speak? By the way, big time salute to the members of the show. I love the channel members, man. You guys help support. We had a powerful members only show, and we uncovered some things in talking about OG Anunoby's impact on this team and about Towns and even Bridges. And it just makes you think, Towns, why can't we get more out of him consistently at a high level? Now, granted, he did have a great stretch of games. We're not going to act like we didn't just go through a 7-game winning streak. I don't want to diminish the Knicks on that, but, there's got to be something to activate Towns so he could reach his full potential on a more consistent. We've seen it. I mean, he dropped 60 something in the game before, so it's there. It's just that he doesn't always show it. T-Mac, speaking with the Post, Adam Shine on Shine's Time, was asked how the Knicks can win the East this postseason, right? And this is what T-Mac said. T-Mac pointed towards Towns maximizing their ability, or his ability. He put it on Towns' mentality. And I agree with that. Big time salute to my man J-Tap on the Super. I do appreciate you. He said Tibbs never sat during the game. Assistants had to leave the bench if they wanted to talk to him. Brown sits there, damn, legs crossed, hands clasped, his knees, and Rick whispering sweet nothings in his ear. Get up and coach. Ooh. Hey, J-Tap. Can't say that I disagree much with that comment. But what I will say is that, we've seen Phil Jackson sit on the bench. I don't want it to make it seem like if you're sitting on the bench, you're not coaching. I just think that it's two different styles. But I will say this, and I forgot to express this last night on Where There's Smoke, There's Fire. I do think that there was a mandate, and now this is just pure speculation. I do think that there was a mandate for the Knicks, or rather Mike Brown, to not call out Knicks players in the video. And like I said, I don't have no inside scoop on that. The reason why I say that is because we watched this team, right? And there are other moments outside of when Mike Brown called out Karl Anthony Towns and said that there's no excuse and he had to have more effort, and you got to get back on defense. You remember that? He hadn't done that since. And we're not going to act as though there wasn't other moments where Mike Brown could have been more vocal. Instead, now he masked it like Tibbs did with the team, because Tibbs didn't call guys out either. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because they keep talking about this collaboration, and Dolan said it on WFAN. The reason why Tibbs was fired because he didn't want to collaborate. And collaboration is something that they are strongly interested in. And so to bring it back to what you're saying, J-Tap, assistants had to leave the bench if they wanted to talk to him. Brown just sits there. Do you think, and what I got from what you're saying, I don't even have to ask, do you think you're implying that he's passive? He's passive. And even then link it to this Town story that we're getting ready to talk about. Is he asking more of Towns and Towns not delivering? And maybe because of that, he doesn't want to push too hard? Or is he not asking of Towns? And he's like what J-Tap is saying, where he's just like too laid back in his coaching. Because sometimes even his interviews, like the interview last night, he says that we were a bit shorthanded. That really bothered me. What do you mean that we were a bit shorthanded? How are we shorthanded when, hold on, do I still got the game there? How are we shorthanded last night when Mo Diawara gets 2 minutes? Tyler Kolek was on the bench. Hell, Pacome Dadier. How were we shorthanded? Makes me think that, and someone eloquently said this last night, that Coach Tibbs or rather, he is being like Coach Tibbs, where he has his only certain select players that he wants to play. So J-Tap, I hear you, and I take heed to what you're expressing, and while I'm not going to say the brother doesn't coach, or by him sitting down, it's a reflection of him not coaching, I will say I do think that there is a level of passive kind of, let's just go with the flow kind of vibes, and hopefully the guys can figure it out. So I do get that, J-Tap. All right. Let's see. Mike Brown is messing with the wrong fan. J-Tap, did you watch ESPN this morning? Because they shared in the Discord a clip of, I didn't watch it, by the way. And I have no plans to talk about Stephen A. Smith today. The last time I talked about Stephen A., they thought that I was having a stroke. Unless the Knicks say something about him, he could get on this soapbox. Because one thing I'm not going to do is defend a team who loses. I can't defend that. But if the Knicks want to express themselves, but in terms of Mike Brown's messing with the wrong fan base, you know what's funny about that comment too, J-Tap? We talked about this either on Level-Headed Knicks Talk or Knicks Nocturnal. I can't remember the show. Mike Brown is closing in on Pat Riley's debut record. So, we have 48 wins. We're on the verge of getting over 51 wins. I know it seems impossible after last night, but it's not that bad. Remember, you're talking about Charlotte Hornets with the number 6 offense. You're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 defense. So, I mean, it's not going to look like that against most people on most nights. And to be honest, we just got our butts kicked, and we didn't have it last night. It is what it is. We got cooked. We lost. There's no excuse. But let's not act like we can't steamroll Houston. Houston's not playing the best basketball right now. All right. Overall, if you look at it, maybe not 1 or 2 games, but if you look at their entire recent 10-game run, they're not killing it like that, especially against good teams. And then we got Memphis and then Chicago. We could easily win those 3 games. And what are you going to say if we win the next 3 games? Is it back to we're going to win the championship? That's why we got to stay level-headed. This is why I do what I do on this channel. All right? But I hear you, J-Tap. I'm not defending Mike Brown. There is no defense for Mike Brown. All right. So as far as this, to bring it back to T-Mac, and I'm gonna finish this point. He's just got to have the want to. He's got to want that. I'm sure coaches in it. Listen to what T-Mac said. It's very important. I'm sure coaches and his teammates are talking to him about that. Because I always say, right, I'm humble when I get on the mic from a standpoint of, I know I don't know more than Mike Brown and those guys on the coaching staff. So it'll be kind of foolish to think that these guys are not having these same conversations with Towns. Okay? So I'm glad he pointed that out. I'm sure coaches and his teammates are talking to him about that. He's got to want that. Okay? He's got to want that for himself and for his team. And if he takes that approach, that mentality, nobody can guard Cat. No one. This guy is so talented. The things that he can do on the basketball court, something at that size, when he puts his mind to it, he can't be guarded because he has so much that he can give you, whether it's inside, outside, his passing ability, setting screens, popping back for threes, the driving ability, finishing at the rim. He can do a lot of things, but it's up to Cat to put his stamp on these games. Salute to Tracy McGrady. He's somebody that played basketball at the highest level. It was some compared him to Kobe Bryant. So when we think about what Tracy McGrady's saying, he's speaking from a place of experience from playing at that high level. And so him responding to Cat and pouring in the Cat and telling Cat these things in a way better manner than Shaq did, I think that it would go over a lot more smoother. But Towns' production and efficiency are both down from last year. He's averaging 20.2 points per game on 49.4% shooting from the field. and just 36.6% from three. Now, for any other big guy, those numbers would be great. Any other like shooting big guy, those numbers would be great. But for the best shooting big man in NBA history, those numbers are not great. And so, you know, it's up to him to, you know what I felt like? And I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say this. The difference between Tibbs and Mike Brown is I think that Tibbs kind of made the system easier for Towns to be more dominant. He was willing to put Towns in the positions where Towns can be effective. Whereas Mike Brown, I feel like, is more rigid. Believe it or not. Because in his system, Towns has a certain spot on the floor. JJ in the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server yesterday, and I talked more about how you could get inside there. He was saying how, why is Mitchell Robinson on the perimeter dribbling into handoffs? Some of y'all who watch me might remember early in the season, I said, yo, that is a scary sight. Swear to God, I hate to see Mitchell Robinson dribbling into handoffs. And last night he did it, and it was a turnover. But that is the system. Where is the wrinkle where, okay, let's make it so Mitch doesn't have to dribble into the handoff? So I could be wrong, but I doubt it on this one. What do you think about Cat and the mentality? Tracy McGrady trying to pour into him. I agree wholeheartedly. I always reference the question that Monica McNutt asked Towns about winning a championship, and somehow he turned that into philanthropy and him wanting to give back. And I'm watching this like, I don't think Big Bodega Cat is a consistent number one option. He can be it at times, but in order to be that number one option on the championship team, you have to have killer instinct. It has to be about you. This is about me and my greatness and my legacy. It can't just be about we. We is great. And that is the correct answer most of the time. But when we're talking about the alpha dogs, the Wembys, the Jokic, Wemby already knows who he is. And that's why I think Wemby, only thing that's going to stop him from being the best in the world is injuries. Outside of that, I think Wemby has what it takes to be the best. Why? Because he has what Tracy McGrady is talking about. You got to have the want to. And we could talk about the numbers. Salute to the channel members. Yeah, I know. I got a lot of members only content. Well over 60. No, well over probably close to 80 videos now. Now that I think about it, it's definitely over 70 for sure. And, you know, some of the things I talk about, there's a video and it just keeps radiating truth. What my the stat about Karl-Anthony Towns that concerns me the most. And no, it's not fouls, but it has everything to do with this because Towns is so team and us that he doesn't have enough me because we need the me to shine and be that superstar. Because the unfortunate rule in basketball for most, because most don't have it, is superstars win championships, not just team and we. If that's the case, then Indiana would have won it last year. You could tell me, oh, about the Halliburton getting hurt, and you guys know I could give a goddamn about an excuse. You could take your excuses to bed with you at night to make you feel better. I don't believe in no goddamn excuses. I firmly believe you are what your record is, and you need a little bit of me in your pursuit. So I'm gonna leave it there. But you know, I feel like T-Mac was doing his best to pour into Towns in a way where I don't think he understands it, because that's not where he sees himself. He sees himself as a team player. But continue to smash that like button. It's really important that we get the likes up. 100 likes is the minimum, not to be confused with the maximum, okay? And continue to subscribe if you are not subscribed. But smash that like button on the way in. It's very important for the algorithm. Big time salute to my man, J-Tab Mob. He says, Objective, if you play PG for the Knicks, could you get Cat the ball in the post? Could you set up Cat for success before you scored a single point? I'm gonna say this, and by the way, this is not a call-up show. All right. This is the pod. Let me just say this. If I play PG, could I get Cat the ball? See, yeah, a lot of us look at the players as if they control the system. There's only like there's a handful of players that control systems. And here's what I mean when I say that. Like James Harden says, I'm a system myself. So that means James Harden has a style of basketball where your coaching style has to let him be him, because he controls a lot on the offensive end. Plus, James Harden is top 75. Most players are not James Harden, where they control spots and opportunities. And to be honest, I don't think he's doing that in Cleveland. Maybe he is. I sincerely doubt it. Cleveland is good for him because their system calls for a guy of Harden's talents, because they run a lot of screen and roll. But most players are not LeBron. They don't have the power to do those things. So I don't think it's up to the point guard to get Towns the ball, unless he is that guy who formulates systems, which very few players do. Forget point guards, players. It goes back to Mike Brown and the goddamn system. J-Tap, was you on the members only show on Sunday? Because we shared some fascinating details about the options thing. I'm just going to say it like that. It's a great watch. If you're a channel member and you didn't watch Members Only Sundays, go check it out. In fact, if you are a channel member, I would suggest you go watch most of the videos in the Unfiltered Thought series. And you know, I kind of detailed a certain thing, or we stumbled upon something that was really interesting when it comes to this whole option talk. And now I'm questioning, do we even have options? So I don't think it's up to my ability, J-Tap. I think it's the coach in the system. Because Jalen Brunson's getting assists. It's not Brunson and his inability to get centers involved. No, it's the system, because I watch, and listen, this is why I take notes in my 82 nights. I watch Jose Alvarado in that second quarter. Jose Alvarado, Deuce McBride, whoever was on the floor, I don't remember if Clarkson, whoever was out there, I watched him. Towns didn't get no shot till late in the second quarter. So you could argue and say, well, Brunson, he can't get Cat involved, which is Cat. He's actually passing the ball more to Brunson. And if I have time, I could go into that article. Is that on my list? It might be. Brunson's actually passing the ball more to Towns in the recent stretch. But what I'm saying is that the system is the problem. It's not the point guard. It's the system. That's why I kept asking people last night. I said, you don't think it's designed to be that way? Even if you go watch that member only Sundays video, I'm not just trying to upsell the membership. I'm just saying that it's a very important detail that we uncovered in that show. And you can't tell me that this is not by design. This is by design. Because Mike Brown's system does not prioritize a center with Cat's abilities. And whose fault is that? I point to the collaboration. And if you're new and this is your first time here, I kind of coined a lot of phrases. Like we kind of coined the Mikal Bridges disappearing acts. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that start here. So I'm just letting you guys know that the collaboration, if you ever hear somebody using those terms, it started here, is Mike Brown and Leon Rose. Because they said they wanted a coach that can be more of a collaborator. And so I blame the collaboration, because even if it is Brunson, right, and his inability to feature Cat, then why would the collaboration, knowing this, put this team together like this? Because this is the second year of Cat and Brunson. If it's not going to work under the new system, then why would you put it together? Okay. So can you get Cat the ball in the post to set him up for success? I'm going to say this, J-Tap, and I appreciate the support, J-Tap. I'm going to say this, family. It would be up to my coach. Does my coach prioritize Cat's abilities as a second option in the post? Is that a wrinkle in the system? And if it's not a wrinkle in the system, how do you expect me to do that, J-Tap? All Cat is Sabonis. Hold up. Let's do it like this, all right? Let's do it like this, all right? Because I keep it's deeper than just rap. Y'all looking at the point guard. Jose and Towns has this magical ESP. Why didn't Jose get him the ball? Why do you think that is? Is it OKC's defense? Okay, OKC's defense was great. Can we all agree that Cat does not get the ball enough in the paint? Can we at least all agree on that? Damn, I went to the wrong damn Sabonis. How the hell I do that? Give me 2 seconds. So this is what Sabonis did with Mike Brown. Look at the numbers. Look at Sabonis's numbers. Y'all see this? Doesn't it look similar to Towns? Show me the example of Mike Brown having a center like Towns where he could feature in the paint. I'll wait. J-Tap, do you get what I'm saying? Because you keep I appreciate the supers, but I don't think you're getting what I'm saying. Towns is doing exactly what Sabonis did in the same system. Do you not see this? Can I get him the ball? If the system allows for me to give a post pass, I can do it. Just like any point guard could do it. It's not a special skill to get a big man the ball in the paint. It's the system. While I appreciate the support, J-Tap. And by the way, if you would like to add to the conversation, you could do it. J-Tap is doing. You can send in a donation, whether it's Super Chat, Cash App. I will respond to it. But J-Tap, do you get what I'm saying? Please tell me you get what I'm saying. All right? Anybody can get him the ball. That's the small fries. The big story is Cat on the air saying, I don't know my role in this offense. We're not going to act like we didn't hear Cat say that. He didn't know his role in this offense. Let me keep it pushing. But I just think that the mentality plays a role, but the system is not helping. All right, where we at? I got to get to the flagship topic. Let me see. I'm gonna jump into it. But before I do, I'm gonna jump into the main topic. But before I do got to tell you about game night. These are the final days of the sale. After this, you won't get the sale. Game night, all right, for the next 48 hours is on sale for a special price and a special rate. You can go to the link tree right now and place your order, okay? And listen, let me ask you guys something. How many playoff moments have we lived through that we wish we wrote down? Because for some reason, we just can't remember it. I don't remember why Michael Jordan had 40 on us. What was it about that? I don't remember the fact that the ref blew that whistle and that call went that way. Well, that's why I made Game Night, the playoff edition. It's a fan journal built for the postseason. Bracket tracker, series previews, game night, memories, reflections, everything. It's a way to experience the playoffs on a whole different level. If you are interested, the link is in the description and on the screen. Linktree/TheObjectiveFan. Go place your order now. It's on sale, free shipping, and it arrives to your door before the playoffs begin. Don't wait. Don't delay. Place your order now before the special deal is over, and you will expand your basketball mind beyond the horizon. And I look forward to seeing you guys inside of the 82 Nights Club. Continue to smash that like button. Go place your order. And I do appreciate the support. And salute to everybody who already, pre-ordered their journals. And it'll arrive to your door before the playoffs begins. All right. What I will say is this. Deuce McBride, his injury situation. Really quickly, I'm gonna check to see if we got any updates on his injury. Let's see if we got any updates. Ooh, they're talking about Hartenstein bolting on the Knicks. Okay. Nothing new on the Deuce frontier. I think they're gonna hold on to. Oh wait, hold up. Whoa. There is an update. There is an update. Hold up. Was that Deuce? Oh no. That's not Deuce. Yeah, that's not Deuce. Yeah, no update. I'm like, damn, there's an update. How's this the only person with the update? No update on Deuce right now. And that is unfortunate. I'm gonna skip the game stuff because we talked about the game last night. There are some things I got to talk about in the review that I noticed that I get a chance to address last night. But this is where we are. This is the most latest update for Deuce McBride's current scenario, his tough exit. It looked like a football play. I thought I was watching the New York Jets or the New York Giants. I couldn't believe my eyes. And, the way the brother grabbed his leg, my man McCain from Duke. But I don't even want to talk about Duke, by the way. Yeah, I was trying to go to the show and not mention Duke. Still thinking about that stupid loss. Anyway, this was a sad sight to see. And the latest update we have from Mike Brown is that he hasn't talked to the medical yet, so he doesn't know how bad it is. According to Stephon Bondi, it's tough. Stephon Bondi's the one that's reporting on it, but this is Mike Brown's comments. But it's tough. He worked his tail to be back. Now, this is what I have a goddamn problem with Mike Brown. This part of the statement, and I forgot to get the Knicks rundown. I'm gonna do that after this. I don't think he made a shot in the first half, but he gave us a lift. You felt his presence. It made us deeper. Huh? And because of the foul trouble we had, we were a little short-handed in that second half. And it was a part of the reason why they were able to pull away. Okay. McBride was scoreless on 0-3 shooting, grabbed the rebound, dish and assist, blocked shot off the bench. All right. 11 minutes. My issue is that part of the comment where he says we're shorthanded. How in the hell are we shorthanded when you have Tyler Kolek, Mo Diawara, Kevin McCullough? You got multiple bodies. Now, of course, these guys are young guys. You don't got Landry Shamet. You sound like Coach Tibbs. That doesn't sound like Coach Tibbs to you? I only got a certain amount of guys I could play. Why is that? Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Why is Mike Brown now the guy we praise for using his bench? Why all of a sudden we're shorthanded? Can someone explain that to me? Big time salute to Casey Smith and the training staff. You know, it was said that we have the best training staff in basketball. And I'm not here to debate and say that we don't have the best training staff in basketball. I salute them and all of their great work. They usually do a great job. Unfortunately, Deuce McBride got hurt. No one could prevent an injury from happening. That's why load management is stupid. There's no way to prevent an injury from happening. That's cap. There's no way to do it. But I question, was Deuce McBride ready? Was he brought back too soon? I don't know. But I do want to share some information. Okay? Now, according to the Cleveland Clinic, and I'm going to get that link on the screen. I'm going to be bouncing around for a bit. All right? And I'm going to be doing some investigation, because we spoke about sports hernias before. All right. Anybody could do a Google search to see the basics of what an injury is. All right. But it's hard to put it together. So usually, this is a sports. If you don't know, despite his name, a sports hernia, athletic. Anyway, don't let me try to say the medical term. I'm not doing that. Sports hernia is not a hernia. It's an injury to a tendon or muscle in your lower abdomen or groin that causes chronic pain. Sports hernias are often caused by repetitive and forceful twisting of your pelvis. Sports hernias are treatable with physical therapy, medication, or surgery, which, remember, Deuce McBride had surgery. Now, usually, a full return to the sport takes 6 to 12 weeks, okay? Rehab alone improvement, 6 to 8 weeks. Risk of re-tear if you return too early. So Cleveland's talking about 6 to 12 weeks. But once again, we don't really get much details from the Knicks usually as to how severe an injury is, which is part of our ignorance and why you don't see people going crazy with the news right now, because they keep it close to the chest and they're going to reveal what they feel is necessary. But Deuce McBride went down on January 27th. Okay. And February is a short month. So you're looking at 2 months. All right. 2 months. Deuce has been out. If you want to give him an additional week, let's just say it's 9 weeks. Was the 9 weeks enough for him to return? All right. I'm going to put another source up here. All right. I'm concerned about Deuce because the way he went down, he was holding his groin area. You could see it was the same. It didn't look like a new injury to me. Now, looks could be deceiving, and we will find out when they release the official report. But right now, what it looks like to me is he possibly, I don't want to see re-teared. Hopefully he didn't re-tear his core muscle. I'm just gonna say he re-injured it. I don't know if it's torn. Anyone saying that it's torn again, you're speaking out of turn. You can't use that terminology. But I just want to say this. According to this source here, this is andrewsportsmedicine.com. Okay, it says performance level recovery, which should be an important distinction. Return to a full speed competition takes 10 to 12 weeks, despite training taking place between 8 to 10 weeks, which is where we are now, that 8 to 10 week mark. Based on what what Benton A. Eblin, MD, what he's suggesting in this article here, is it possible that Deuce McBride return a week or two early? What do you think about that? And if he returned a week or two early, whose fault is it? That's the mystery. Who takes the blame? And Deuce coming back too soon, if this is the case. I'm not putting it on the Knicks that they brought him back too soon. I'm just asking questions based on what I researched. Now, here's the thing, and I got another source I'm gonna go to, right? Here is the thing that we need to understand. There's a lot of implications that can happen if you recover too soon. This is from Kinetic Chain Denver, okay? And this is written by, I don't see the name. I'm not sure if this is Jamie Beauvais, but anyway, this is like a center. They do their thing, right? So this is what they had to say about rushing back too soon. Rushing back too soon, right? I'm not sure exactly where it said, but I got it in my notes. But this is where I got this from. Rushing back too soon can reset your progress. Now, does that mean he retore it or he needs surgery again? Not necessarily. But now you could potentially miss the entire playoffs trying to rehab to come back. So whether it's a re-tear, I hope it's not. God forbid that. I'm not putting that on Deuce. But it did not look good. Now, I got another source I'm going to go to. All right? And I'm just going to discontinue because I don't just go to one website for stuff like this. You might could do that for some like trade or, information. That's cool. But I really wanted to dig a little deeper and get different perspective off certain questions that I had. So, boom. All right. This website here is from PMC and SCBI, and it's called the High Return to Play Rate and Reduced Career Longevity Following Surgical Management of Athletic and basically hernias, the sports hernias, and the National Basketball Association players, okay? So what it said in here was that the average NBA return time is 4.7 months and 18 to 20 weeks after surgery. This is what it says according to this. All right. So some of the evidence, I'm not saying that this is Deuce's case because, like I said, from the rip, in defense of the Knicks and the people who are in charge, we don't know the severity of his injury. I'm just giving you some information from different resources that's giving different perspectives on sports hernias. Okay? Now, Keep going. And I'm going to get to that super chat in a minute. All right. Get to that super chat in a minute. So we're going to go to another source. All right. We're going to go to another source. All right. Because I wanted to make sure I was thorough. Now, the give and go injury recovery that will determine if Knicks McBride could return for the playoffs. This was on February 5th. This is a plus. I'm not logged in. Damn. My bad. I'm going to make sure that I have the login. It's going to be too much for me to get the password and all this stuff. But this is where I got it from. All right. So, according to this, it talks about the 10 to 12 week mark for the full recovery, which is way ahead of what the NBA reported in that article there, or that came from the NBA study, right? PMC. Now this one here is from and this is talking about what was reported in results to what Deuce actual injury was, and the basic information we got for Deuce. So they said 10 to 12 weeks. But even if you look at the 10 to 12 week, let's forget the 4 months, 4.7. I'm just giving you different perspectives of what other people are saying about sports hernias. Let's say it's 10 to 12 weeks. Right now, we are in the 9th week of Deuce. We're in the 9th week. We're not in the 10 to 12 weeks. So even based on this article here, it talks about the 10 to 12 weeks, and it also warned about returning too soon and how it risks of a re-injury. Not a re-tear. We're just going to say a re-injury. I don't want to put that on Deuce. I really don't. So he missed 28 games, 2 months. He returned and re-aggravated something, okay, in his first game back, which is crazy. Man. I just wish they didn't bring him back for this. Even if they would have brought him back for Houston, okay. Even if they would have brought him back for Memphis, okay. But damn, not OKC. These guys are a football team, man. They got football players in Dort on their team. And Caruso, very physical guys. Guards at that. He did look good, though. Salute to Deuce. He looked good. I didn't think he was a step slow. Now, was he 100%? Probably not. But I didn't think that he looked like how Tatum looked when Tatum came back. When Tatum first came back. So, if the NBA average is 4.7 months, we did 2 months. He returns within 9 weeks. It really is closer to 8 weeks, but I'm giving them an extra week. Could we make an argument that the Knicks brought him back too soon? But who do we blame for this? If he was brought, are we going to blame Casey Smith? Are we going to blame the collaboration? Who do we blame? Someone made a decision on this. And now, as I argued last night, the biggest loss of the night was not to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was the loss of Deuce McBride. Continue to smash that like button. Got a couple of more things we got to get to, so we're not done. All right, we still cooking with hot grease. I'm praying for Deuce. I'm hoping that he has a speedy recovery, and I'm hoping that if he does come back, he's going to be ready to go, and it's within a great time frame. All I'm doing is I did my own research. Now I'm just asking questions. I'm not making no direct claims that they rushed him back. All I said was that there is an argument that they brought him back too soon. Okay? Big time salute to my man No Strays. Boston. Mike Brown put Deuce leg on the plate for Lou Dort. I mean, I don't know if it's Mike Brown's fault, because I go to the collaboration. I'm not just blaming the coach, because we know that he is agreeable, or not agreeable. he is someone who can talk and he's willing to work together, and so because of that, it was a team decision. I don't think it was one person's decision. I'm just trying to think, was it the medical staff who overstepped whose boundaries, or who made the push for Deuce to come back? I don't have that information. I'm just here asking questions. This is what I do. I am the objective fan. I don't have an axe to grind with nobody. I support the Knicks, which means I support everybody. However, when I see mishaps like this, I got to keep it real and I got to call it exactly how I see it. So I'm not going to put it on Mike Brown, no strays. Ha ha, nice attempt to try to divide Knicks Nation, but you failed, Boston. And I still want that smoke with the Celtics because you're not as good as Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, you might have beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, but you did it at home. You didn't do it in Oklahoma. All right? So don't try to cap and act like y'all the greatest thing since sliced bread. Y'all got some questionable losses too. And by the way, y'all 2-1. Y'all 1-2 against us. So let's not worry about what another team does. Let's talk about what we did to each other. And in fact, that one game we lost, y'all should have lost, Boston, because y'all had to fight to come back in that game. We were cooking y'all, but it is what it is. All right? I'm going to keep it pushing. I do got some interesting comments of the week. Oh, by the way, that Brunson Towns passing more, I'm going to save that for later. So we'll probably also talk about that later. In the OKC game, like I said, we pretty much talked about it. Even though I'm going to say this, how I operate on this channel, because I know a lot of y'all are new, I am someone who I don't single out no one. We win as a team, we lose as a team. So if somebody has a bad night, but we win, I don't give a damn. We won. You contributed. Your bad night contributed in the win. However, if we lose, like Mr. Miyagi, Jalen Brunson, salute to Jalen Brunson. I do got on the Captain 11 hoodie. Come on, you can see it better if I go to the side view. You could go get this too if you want on the link tree. Just go to the merch section. I'm gonna say like how he says, even when he dropped 61 points, he didn't care because they lost. They lost. So what good is scoring 61 points if we're not winning the game? That's the mentality that I come from. So even though the double big lineup was a plus 3, and the small point guard lineup was a plus 3, we lost. It didn't help us win the game. We lost. And Mo Diawara in game 1 was a part of 2 pivotal runs that we made. First quarter, third quarter. When we had that 40-point third quarter, Mo Diawara's imprint was all over that. I'm bringing that up because I feel like it's a shame for Mike Brown to get on there and say, well, we were shorthanded. And in what world, in whose sane coach wrote, and I'm not trying to say Mike Brown's not sane, but in whose coach rotation would a 6'2" guy replace a 6'10" guy? How does that even make goddamn sense? And the 6'2" guy was Deuce McBride replacing Mo Diawara in the rotation. I was the first one to tell you, by the way, we have a big problem. Did the show. So anybody else talking about the big problem, especially if they use the word problem and big, they got it from me. All right. Let me get back to research mode. So what we're gonna touch on right now is the comment of the week. Now, I know I get a lot of comments. I'm talking Knicks all day, every day. I get so much people that hit me up just on the personal side too. And I'm just gonna say this. Don't think just because you talk slick in the comments that I won't respond to you. Yeah, 99% of them I won't see them anyway. You talking slick. But there's a 0.1% chance I'm gonna see it. And this was that example. So a lot of you guys, who are here, most of y'all probably seen my rant on Stephen A. Smith last week. Still stand by my rant. I could give a goddamn about defending the Knicks when they lose, or defending the Knicks for someone's baseless opinion, or someone who doesn't watch as much Knicks basketball as I do. I could care less at that. But when you start when people bring it to me, I'm going to address it. That's one. If I so happen to see it, I probably will address it. Though a lot of stuff I see, I don't address for a reason. All right? Why are people putting misinformation? I got to block this person. There's somebody that's on my Twitter putting out stupid information. And I ain't gonna lie, it really grinds my gears. Like, misinformation grinds my gears. Yeah, I could give a goddamn it that you're a satire account. Yeah, just block this dude. Yeah, I don't want to see this stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah, get him the hell up out of here. It's just like stupid information pop up. Oh, Caden Bruiser, he applied to be in the transfer portal. Like, stop. Like, that's stupid. I don't understand why people follow satire accounts. I got no time for barely the real stuff. Why would I entertain some fake ass stuff? This baffles me. People just live in fantasy world. Anyway, nonetheless. So this came across my desk, and Stephen A., he said so. They put it in the Discord. I said, I'm not even watching it. I could give a damn. But if Josh Hart responds to Stephen A. Smith, that's why I did the Stephen A. Smith video. Because Josh Hart responded and told him to shut up, and he's a part-time Knicks fan. I got to cover that. So this is what this comment was on that video. Because Stephen A. Smith is convinced that Jalen Brunson had something to do with trading for Mikal Bridges. I think it's the biggest load of nonsense because, channel members, once again, I have a video. It's called Jalen Brunson Holds No Weight. So as much as I rock the Captain 11, it's not going to stop me from being critical of you in certain areas where it may not be favorable to your status or your standing as a Knick. Everybody gets to fire from here. Nobody is exempt, not even my client who I represent. I will never represent nor defend his poor shooting. Never. It would never happen. You can't go 0 for 6 with 0 points and I'm going to act like you didn't do it. I am the objective fan. This is level-headed Knicks talk. All right? So my job is to balance the scales. That's exactly what I do. So when this brother comes out here and says, where's your evidence Brunson didn't have anything to do with them being here? Just because Dante got traded doesn't mean anything. So I'm going to set the record straight. Did the Villanova connection from a marketing and from it'd be a nice angle to have college teammates who won the championship in college coming together in the professional ranks to try to win a championship? Would that make for a nice storyline? Did they realize that these are the guys that went to school with Jalen Brunson? Yes. So what we're going to do now, since you think that you made a point, we're going to investigate how the Nova boys came to the Knicks. When Jalen Brunson was at Villanova and they made that Cam Reddish trade for Josh Hart, did Jalen Brunson look like a man who knew what was happening? Or did he respond like a fan who was so happy and surprised that he just jumped for joy? How was Jalen Brunson's response? Because if I know that I am the one trading for somebody to come there, I'm not going to be like, oh, wow, my God. Why do that? Remember, it's not in what they say, it's in what they don't say. Why would I do that? Also, is Josh Hart not a good player? Wasn't Cam Reddish on Tibbs' ish list and wasn't playing, and rumored and well reported that Tibbs did not like Cam Reddish? Wouldn't Josh Hart just make basketball sense to go get a guy like Josh Hart who fit right into exactly what the Knicks needed? Was it that Josh Hart went to Villanova, or was it that Josh Hart's play style fit what we needed at the time? And he was a huge spark plug. So here's the thing, right? Because I'm just answering your spots about what's your evidence that Brunson didn't have anything to do with them being here, right? I'm just giving you the formalities of how they did get here. Okay? I wouldn't speculate to say that Jalen Brunson told Leon to go get Josh Hart. I don't think that ever happened. I really don't believe that happened. And then think about it. In 2024, right? 2024, that's when they did the OG Anunoby trade. And they brought OG here. Why didn't Jalen Brunson make the push to go get either one of his other teammates at that point in time when the Knicks had assets they could trade? If Jalen Brunson brought these guys here and that was his goal, why did he go get Dante or Mikal when they traded for OG? Can you explain that to me? Why they had to wait? Dante, it wouldn't have took a lot to get Dante in the trade. I'm telling you that right now. It wouldn't have been an arm and a leg to get Dante. Now, Bridges, yes, but you had the assets to go get OG. You could have used those same assets to go get Mikal Bridges if Jalen Brunson is calling the shots. And then we know how Mikal got here, right? And they all were on the phone talking. Last time I checked, we didn't even get a chance to see the goddamn four Nova boys together that Jalen Brunson wanted so bad. He wanted it so bad. If he wanted it so goddamn bad, why we didn't see it? Can you explain that to me, Bryce? Also, how it works is this. In the science world, we say, in order to make an extraordinary claim, it requires extraordinary evidence. Remember, he's the one that made the proposition that Jalen Brunson had a hand in the Mikal Bridges trade. So he would have to have the same way I just went through the sources talking about the Hornet. I put them up there. I said, bull, bull, bull. Then I went to the Post, which initially talked about the timeline being 10 to 12 weeks. Well, he should, Stephen A. Smith should, because he got the contacts with the people who cut the checks. He didn't say, my inside sources with the Knicks told me that Jalen Brunson, without Stephen A. didn't say that. You know why? Because the Knicks would have called them out for lying on the air. So when you say just speculation, was that for me or was that for Stephen A. Smith? The hell are you talking about? Then he tries to come, and this is why I respond. If he would have just left the first sentence, the first couple of sentences, I wouldn't have responded to it. But when he tells me, I thought you were objective, that's when I know that you're trying to take a personal shot and dig at me. And I don't really give a damn what you got to say about me. But when you talk about the whole statement in its entirety and about me being objective, my question to you is, if I am not objective, how is Stephen A. Smith objective? Because this is the same guy who you're defending, I don't know why, or you're taking up for his side. That's good for you. Go watch Stephen A. Smith. He got 1 million viewers. What's one more? You could go over there. And I wish y'all all the best. But where is his objectivity and journalism stand? I'm not a journalist. I took journalism classes. I say I'm a fan moonlighting as a journalist, but I don't take that honor. What type of journalist makes statements when you have the organization's contacts on the inside according to you, but you can't get a source or do no real digging as a journalist? You just want to speculate because this is not the journalist. What you see on ESPN, First Take, and these shows is not journalism. It's commentary. It's not journalism. And most of these guys are not objective in their commentary. All right. I give it to you raw and straight. That's why I do a show like this every week where I go through every single piece of news for the Knicks. And I provide it to you. This is what's going on. And my commentary is based on what's actually happened. And that's why I'm the level-headed Knicks talk guy. I'm grounded in information. I don't get on here without letting you know it's pure speculation, because somebody like this guy listens to Stephen A. Smith, no sources, no nothing, right? His partner, Mad Dog, I don't believe none of the reports. What type of TV are we watching? What type of shows are we watching? We could just make up whatever we want. How is a debate fun if I could just make up the stats? Jalen Brunson is the best ever because he averaged 35 and 10, and he's the best point guard ever. We could just make up whatever we want if you don't want to believe the reports. You don't want to believe the numbers. So what the hell are you talking about? How am I not objective? There is no evidence to show that Jalen Brunson influenced his brothers to be here. Because what about Ryan Arcidiacono? We see that Giannis Antetokounmpo has his brothers on the team, his other brother a two-way contract. Why can't Ryan Arcidiacono get a two-way contract? If that's his man's in them and he just wants the Noble Boys there, because last time I checked, Ryan Arcidiacono was there and when they won the championship too. And he was on the team. What happened the very next year? Is he still here? I don't see no evidence, nor do I think it's plausible to state that Jalen Brunson or blame Jalen Brunson for the fact of why Mikal Bridges was traded to the Knicks. I think that's the dumbest thing you could say if you believe Stephen A. If you believe in Stephen A. Smith, then it is what it is. But yeah, questioning my objectivity when this guy gets on the air and spews whatever narrative he wants to is just, it's what it is what it is. But don't think that I won't respond. Thank you, my man LD, the 77 for the super chat. Deuce agent need him on the court more than the NYK did. Ooh, wait a minute. Now we talking. Ooh, that's what I'm saying. Was it the agent? The agent needed him more on the court because remember, we talking money and business and basketball. So what happens now, you know, with him being re-injured? Does he have to go through the same process all over? Will he miss the entire offseason trying to recover? Because according to that stat from PMC, it says that it takes 4.7 months to recover after surgery if surgery is needed again. I hear you, D from LA. I love the way you think, my brother. I love the way you think. Let me keep it pushing. But yeah, I just had to respond to this guy. John, you know, you trying to come for me, brother. Yeah, it's not going. I'm just letting you know right now, you're going to need to do some NBA TV. Notice I didn't say ESPN. I said NBA TV. You know why? Because them dudes from NBA TV, they got all the NBA stats directly from the NBA. You're going to need one of them guys to come deal with me. 100,000%. I'm not even going to pick up my big-ass notebook, my big-ass books I got on the desk. That's just all for this season. You're going to need them people to come deal with me. So, yeah, you could question you could do whatever the hell you want to. But just don't think that sometimes I'm not going to see you and respond. How about that? All right, let me keep it pushing. There's a lot of great stories here. Of course, we don't got time to get to them all. I'm gonna look at the power rankings. All right. ESPN power rankings for the most part has been all right. I think in recent times they've been dropping the ball because we've been seeing some really great rising and some really great falls. Oh, hold on. But you know what? I'm gonna do the power rankings, but let's get the likes up. And I got to do the Knicks rundown. I have to do the rundown. All right. I can't do a show without doing the rundown. I'm gonna do it right after this. I promise. So let's continue to get the likes up. It's very important. If you're watching and you're listening, smash the like button. Also, take the liberty and time to subscribe because we know that most of you guys in the building, well over 60+%, are not subscribed. Help us close the gap. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and we do have the giveaway that we will be doing for each time we reach a subscriber milestone. We will be giving away this rookie Jalen Brunson trading card. Okay. All you have to do is subscribe. No emails, no phone numbers. Help us close the gap. And as soon as we reach that 5K mark, we will be shipping this off to one of you lucky and loyal subscribers. So let me get into these power rankings. OKC's been number 1 all year. Detroit Pistons rose back up. They've been playing good basketball without Cade. Some of the competition they played is questionable, but it doesn't matter. I don't give a damn who you play. They've been winning, and they deserve to be in the number 2 spot. Boston Celtics is the same thing. They knew the Knicks were hot on their heels, and Boston, they moved up 1 spot, deservedly so. The Spurs fell. I agree with this. The Spurs, yeah, they're solid. They're playing good basketball, but I just think these other 2 teams are doing more in recent times. So I'm not mad at that. And then the Los Angeles Lakers, rightfully so, in the 5th spot, pretty much dethroning us because we were in the 5th spot. They have been playing some phenomenal basketball. And to be honest, man, I'm telling y'all, the Lakers are going to show y'all how to win a championship. Just watch what they do. Us as Knicks fans have this mentality, oh, we can't trade that guy. Oh, we can't trade. For them, anybody can go. And that's how you win a championship. Period. Anyway, so they take the 5th spot, and of course, they drop us down. And guys, I got another one for you. Next week, Cleveland will pass us. So when we look at this next week, by the way, these rankings come out on Wednesday because we lost to Charlotte, we lost to OKC, and shoot, if we lose to Houston, damn, we might not even be in the top 10 no more. Falling from grace. Another thing, too, that I respect from ESPN, even though I don't like it, but I do respect it, is that when we went on our 7-game win streak, they didn't boost us on that because we didn't really beat the best quality opponents. And it is what it is. That's just how they run their system. You don't like it, you don't like it. It is what it is. But that's the power rankings. And like I said, I predict that Cleveland will pass us next week. And probably not just them, all the other teams behind them that are playing better basketball than us when we're on the verge of potentially losing 3 games in a row. As far as the rundown, let me see if I could do that really quickly. So I'm gonna do the rundown. So these are the news articles that we didn't touch on for the week. So I just wanted to do a little quick rundown. Jose Alvarado pretty much predicted that he and Deuce McBride will be playing together and their core strengths together. Now there was one stretch in the game. I'm gonna do a quick Knicks take right here. There was one stretch in that game where they actually looked good together, and the defense was solid. My only issue is playing 3-point guards together, not just the 2. All right. And the Knicks were gaining ground on the Celtics before those losses. And of course, the Knicks 7-game win streak was snapped during this week. And as they lose 2 games in a row. All right. Josh Hart, what he gave his comments on what Coach Brown thought his comparison was to the Warriors, comparing him to Andre Iguodala. Okay. Let's see. Keeping this Knicks team together just got harder than ever. We did a show on that based on the new projected salary cap. Jalen Brunson carried the Knicks late. I think he had like 16 points in the 4th quarter. All right. Jordan Clarkson had a strong game as he played his way back into the rotation. Of course, that was the win against the New Orleans Pelicans, and also OG Anunoby's defense as well played a major role in that game. The NBA Players Association rebukes the Bucks over the Giannis Antetokounmpo injury and playing dispute. Okay. Of course, Miles McBride was in the final stages of his rehab as he returned to the Oklahoma City Thunder game, only to leave that same game with a apparent groin injury. The Knicks win streak disrupted. We talked about that. And what else? I think that's it. Deuce injury. The Knicks they lose to the Charlotte Hornets, right? Who won 4 games in a row, and they blew out all 4 teams at home in that 4-game homestand before we went to Charlotte and got done. So that is the Knicks rundown. Pretty much is just a rundown of the news for the week that we didn't cover. Now I want to get to word on the street. Now, before I do, I told you guys I would share with you how you can gain access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. One of the things you could do is by joining the channel. There's a lot of perks when you join the channel. Okay. To all the people who enjoy calling up the shows, if you become OKF Nation Plus, you get no clock status. Okay. If you and other things you get with OKF Nation Plus, you get access to 100 Knicks stats that I keep track of as well, and more extra perks. But just the basic membership as well, you get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, okay, where we have 24/7 Knicks chat. I mean, we talk all the time, but during the games, that's when it really gets, good conversation. I'm in there giving you my stats, my thoughts. Double big lineup -3, 3-point guard lineup. Why did he do that? Certain details of the game. They're killing us on the glass. We're outboarded by 12. Just different things about the game. So you get access to that as well. And a lot. So yeah, the membership perks comes with a lot, but I just want to show you guys how you could be a part of Members Only Sundays and how you could be a part of the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. And once again, OKF Nation Plus, you get no clock status. All right. So word of the street is basically a review of all of the surveys that we have for the week. Okay. I'm gonna get back on my survey game heavy. I was crazy busy, super busy. I didn't get a chance to do one this morning, but I will get back onto this. So this is a good chance. Word on the street is a good way for us to see how Knicks fans feel. And so that's why I do these polls to kind of document it in time as well on the pod. So the Knicks have won 7 games in a row. How long will this streak continue? I thought at least 1 game. So just I know that it didn't continue, but I put 1 game, and of course it didn't. 504 votes. A lot of us, and you know what? I want to salute Knick Nation. I don't look at that as delusion. I'm going to say the 35% of the 504 votes that said till the playoffs, you guys were really believing in the Knicks team. And I don't think that most of you guys are delusional. It felt like we were riding a high during that win streak. And even though we did have some telltale signs in some of the games we struggled at against better competition, we probably wouldn't win. It just felt good. I selected 1 game. 17% of the vote, 26% said 3+ games. So a lot of you guys also, once again, you thought we were going to beat OKC, Houston, and Charlotte. It didn't turn out that way, but hey, it is what it is. But salute to y'all for that. And then 22% said it's the next game. I'm not impressed. The Knicks go on a 4-game road trip, and it's really 5 games. I put 4 games because I forgot about the Memphis game. I got a big calendar that I update myself that gives me grand scope of all the content I'm going to do and everything for the month. So if I mess up on there, it completely messes me up. But anyway, the Knicks going to, technically it's 5 games, but let's just keep it 4 games. Go on a 4-game road trip, and 3 of these games are against teams that are above 500. What do you think their record would be? I honestly was going to say 3-1. and I'm going to still put that even though it's false. 572 votes, right? 15% said 4-0. 43% said 3-1. 32% said 2-2. And 10% said below 500. Who would have thought that 10% might be correct on this one? Will Mike Brown breaks Pat Riley's 51 win record in his debut season? I'm going to say yes. 567 votes. 75% say yes. 21% say no. 4% say I don't know. Let me tell you something. If the Knicks can't break this record in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, if we can't get 3 more wins in 7 games, we're going to be cooked in the playoffs. Like, come on, this is postseason time. You got to at least get 3 wins. We got to at least get 3. I think that we get in the 50s. I think we could get to 52 if we put our mind to it. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless. But that's all for Word on the Street. Could smash that like button. I do appreciate all the support. Continue to smash that like button. We have to get the likes up to 100. Let me see who's in the building. My man J Tap Mob, I see you. Thank you for your support today. AP, I see you as well. The Supermod, thank you for your support today. Of course, my man D in LA, big time salute. Also, later I will do the MVP donors. So we will be back tonight for another level-headed Knicks talk. We got 2 perspective topics: Brunson passing the ball to Towns, and then we could also talk about damn, what was the other topic? I lost it. There's another topic. Oh yeah, the second seed. Can we still reach the second seed? So I appreciate you guys and all your support. Until next time, as always, let's go Knicks. Even after 2 losses, let's go.